Here's the truth. The IRS doesn't advertise. 95% of creatives willingly overpay their taxes. Every month you delay, you accept that your software, your home studio, even that client coffee, is a personal cost. This single mistake costs you $10,000 or more by year's end, money you earned, just left on the table. Stop letting this chip away at your future. Together, I'll show you exactly how to claim it all back, starting now. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. So why does this happen? Why do so many brilliant creators, photographers, designers, writers instinctively leave this money behind? It's not because you're bad with numbers. It's because of a deep internal conflict we're all taught to believe. The idea that art and commerce are enemies. We're fed this romanticized myth of the starving artist, where passion is pure and business is, well, a little dirty. Thinking about profit can feel like selling out. So we build this invisible wall in our minds. On one side, there's the creative work, the joy of bringing an idea to life. Your camera, your sketchbook, your editing software, that all lives here. On the other side is the business stuff, the invoices, the taxes, the spreadsheets. We treat them as two different worlds. And in doing so, we unconsciously devalue the very tools and resources that make our art possible. We start seeing our studio rent not as a necessary business investment, but as a personal burden. That subscription to the Adobe suite isn't a legitimate operating cost. It's just something I need for my craft. This mindset is the real reason your hard-earned money is slipping away. It's a quiet story we tell ourselves that keeps us from seeing our creative practice as the legitimate business it truly is. But what if this entire separation is a lie? What if the key to financial clarity isn't to become a different person, but to embrace a simple, timeless principle that connects your passion directly to your profit? That principle is this: every legitimate business expense is an investment in generating future value. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not a cost, it's not a loss, it's an investment. This is the fundamental truth that bridges the gap between your art and your business. It reframes every dollar you spend from a painful necessity into a strategic choice. This single shift in perspective is the most powerful tool you have for building a sustainable creative career. Think about it. When you buy a new camera lens, you're not just spending money. You are investing in the ability to capture a higher quality image that will attract a higher paying client. When you pay for that Adobe Creative Cloud subscription, you're not just paying a bill. You are investing in the essential tools required to produce professional work, deliver it to your clients, and get paid for your skill. Every resource, from the gas in your car to meet a client, to the online course you take to master a new technique, has a direct cause and effect relationship with your ability to earn an income. The expense is the cause, the income is the intended effect. This isn't about becoming a cutthroat capitalist. It's about becoming a responsible steward of your own talent. It's about respecting your craft enough to provide it with the resources it needs to flourish. When you see your business through this lens of intentional investment, you're no longer a starving artist hoping for a lucky break. You are the CEO of your creative practice, making deliberate decisions to build something that lasts. You begin to operate from a place of empowerment, not scarcity. And here's the secret. The IRS is built on this exact same principle. The entire concept of a business deduction exists because the government recognizes that it takes money to make money. They expect you to invest in your business. They see these expenses not as loopholes but as the legitimate, necessary fuel for the engine of your creative enterprise. By ignoring them, you're not just leaving money on the table, you're fundamentally misunderstanding the nature of the game you're in. To make this principle truly tangible, let's reframe it using an analogy from a world we all understand as creators, the world of building. Imagine you're an architect tasked with building a dream home. You wouldn't just show up to the site with a pile of lumber and hope for the best. You would start with a blueprint. That blueprint is the sacred text of the project. It details every single material, every measurement, every screw and nail needed to bring the vision into reality. Each line item on that plan isn't a cost, it's a non-negotiable investment in the integrity of the final structure. Without the right foundation, the walls will crack. Without the right wiring, the lights won't turn on. Your business expenses are the line items on your financial blueprint. Your receipts, your software subscriptions, your mileage log. These are the documented proof of the essential materials you're investing to build a sustainable career. Forgetting to track an expense is like leaving the windows off the blueprint. You leave your entire structure exposed, vulnerable, and fundamentally less valuable. The blueprint itself doesn't build the house, but it makes an intentional, successful build possible. The tools to create this financial blueprint are readily available. So what's the real barrier preventing us from picking them up and starting the design? The barrier isn't a lack of tools or knowledge, it's a crisis of identity. We haven't given ourselves permission to be both the artist and denied the entrepreneur. We wait for an external signal, a big client, a gallery show, a certain income level, to tell us we're finally a real business. But that validation never comes from the outside. It begins the moment you decide to treat yourself like a professional. This is the critical shift, moving from a passive artist who hopes for success to a proactive creative professional who builds the systems for it. The artist waits for the muse to strike. The professional builds a studio where the muse knows it's welcome. The artist sees tracking a receipt as a tedious chore that pulls them away from their passion. The professional understands that tracking that same receipt is a strategic act that funds the next project and honors the value of their own time. It isn't about losing your soul. It's about building a sustainable home for it to thrive in. You stop being a passenger in your own career and take the wheel. So the real change is one of agency. It's the conscious decision to stop waiting and start building, to treat the business of your creativity with the same respect and intention you give to your craft. Let's bring this all together and outline the simple, actionable steps you can take to start building your own financial blueprint today. So let's bring it all back to that blueprint. The real takeaway today isn't just a list of deductible items, it's the profound mindset shift that underpins it all. It's the conscious decision to see yourself as the CEO of your creativity. Every tool you buy, every class you take, is a strategic investment in the sustainable business you are building. This isn't about losing your soul to commerce. It's about creating a strong financial structure that gives your soul the freedom to create for years to come. That is the blueprint. I'm curious, what's the biggest mindset shift you're taking away from our conversation today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight could be the one that helps someone else connect the dots. And if you're committed to building this blueprint piece by piece, hit that subscribe button. There's so much more to build together.